shows probably like, I think I realised the other day it's been like half my life at this point, so I sort of started getting involved, getting some awareness in maybe like 2008, 2009, so obviously like I'm like 30 this year, so it's pretty much half my life, and like probably like the overriding like one single sort of defining thing that I do with my life. Like I have other interests to an extent, but like a lot of the life decisions I make about like jobs and where I want to live and things like that are all sort of linked around like how can I sort of play in bands and do the things I want to do, you know, like the most effectively, like you know, try and avoid having jobs where I can't like take time off to go on tour and play shows, and like, so it's pretty important to me from that aspect. One of the things with hardcore is like, I don't know who coined this expression first or where it come from, but like everyone's welcome, but it's not for everybody. And like, you know, some people like come to a few shows and you know, they enjoy like the music or whatever, but it doesn't really click for them. It doesn't have that vital feeling of like, this is what I have to be doing. And then as the years go by and you see this, you know, like the same faces are still there, and you know, the same people, and you just realise we're actually just all on a level of like, this is just deeply important to us. That's not to sort of like take a dig at some people that aren't into it. Like there's loads of other you know, types of heavy music, there's loads of other subcultures, and they're all really sick and really important to the people that are involved in them. And you know, like I like other types of music, but this is like the way we do things, and the sort of code of ethics involved in how hardcore works is what makes sense to me. You know, I was trying to explain it once, and I said that maybe it's like, you know, somebody realizes that a certain religion or a certain political belief is what they will look at, you know, it's what they'd already felt all along in their life, and then this is like what you know, made sense to them. And that doesn't mean to say that like there aren't differences of opinion. It's not like a dogmatic, you know, setting, you know, carved into stone tablets how we have to do everything. But people just broadly seem to be like singing from the same hymn sheet, and you know, understanding that, you know, there's certain things that fly, there's certain things that don't, and that's not a cuss.
We're gonna be putting out an LP in springtime this year. This song is gonna be on the LP. We're actually gonna film some footage for a music video for this shit right now. So do me a favor and just go fucking wild. Make it useful footage.
For the treasure will remain. Turn those not to fill. From a side never fade. Bleeding deep in our minds. Only the strong survive. Standing side by side on the front line. Giving back until we die. Loyalty those we trust. Fight the fight against all odds. With a name we turn to run. And then it's fight for all the boys. Loyalty those we trust. Fight the fight against all odds. With a name we turn to run. And then it's fight for all of us. Loyalty. Loyalty of you. Giving respect to the soul. Yeah, motherfucker. What? Giving respect to the drum, never return to the drum. In our minds, only the strong survive. Standing side by side on the front line, giving back until we die. Disease, the faceless shadows arise. The fear once upon the lost now reflects creation's
divine. There's lots of things in hardcore that exist in other types of music, like booking agents and management and bigger record labels and sort of the industry type things, and some of that's sort of necessary evils because of the size of some bands and the logistics and stuff required for bands to play to thousands of people is that there probably needs to be some, sometimes some professionals being involved. But also, like, in hardcore, unlike many other types of music, like, you can just message some guy from like Poland and be like, yo, does your band want to come and play here, or can my band come and play in Poland, and how do we make it work? And you can just do it, and you don't need like contracts and sort of external forces to make that happen. Like, one of my bands, went and played in Poland in November, and like we just flew out to Poland, and the guys met us and hung out, like got tattooed and had fucking Vietnamese food every day, and played some shows, and a show got cancelled and we got another show last minute, and they said they were going to lend us all this equipment, and they just lent it to us. We didn't have to like, and it was all just on like an Instagram DM, and we knew it would be fine because there are people in a hardcore band and we're in a hardcore band, and we knew people that knew them, and it's just same record label and stuff. So we didn't need like, that's what's DIY about that, is we don't need like somebody with a domain name, email address to like hook it all up. And that's not to say that isn't also sometimes necessary. Like, when you've got like big bands that can play to like 500 or 1,000 people every night, the logistics and the sort of technical side of what needs to happen to make that happen means that professionals probably need to do it. But like, for me to get on a fucking a flight to Warsaw and play like 4 shows to like a few mental kids every night, like, doesn't need anything. No one needs to be professional to make that happen.
Vi tänkte spela ett gäng till. De 2 nästa låtarna är från en split vi kommer släppa snart med ett band från Switch med The Path of Resurgence. Kommer ut någon gång på The Coming Stripe Records.
All of us pretty much been growing up in hardcore scene, so it's everything, I guess. I mean, I don't think we have anything else to do. We built our entire lives around like hardcore, so it wasn't hard. I don't think anyone was have like a meaningful life.
Yeah. I think it's like such an important part of our lives that like, probably some of us would probably be dead if it wasn't for hardcore. And yeah, like Nina said, it's been since we were kids. Still going strong, I guess. Our bodies are just stiffer.
Yeah.
Don't have that many shows in Sweden since COVID and all of that, so it's hard to say, to be honest. We've done a few, but not that much.
We kind of lost momentum.
Yeah.
I mean, like our group of people that does shows. I haven't done a single show since. I guess we did one show.
Yeah.
But booking wise, we had like some venue trouble, so I guess this is like the first show in Stockholm in a while.
China.
Never stop nice, fuck you.
Yo, let's do this shit.
Repeat after me. May I burn in hell. May I burn in hell. If I betray my friends. If I betray my friends. You won't be able to stop us ever. You won't be able to stop me. You won't be able to stop us ever. When the forces of true evil and chaos collide. Seconds is all it takes.
Newcastle was pretty sparse for quite a long time. It was a bit of a forgotten scene in terms of the rest of UK hardcore. And we basically just got fed up of waiting for somebody to book a band, and just kind of, not so much myself, but people in my band decided we're going to start putting on shows. I'm getting involved now. We just want to make our scene as good as what Birmingham has, what London has, etc. Just having regular shows with regular bands, getting more bands coming out of Newcastle as well is what the aim is really as well.
I think you can correlate like the Birmingham hardcore scene and like the post-pandemic spring with like the rise of Birmingham hardcore promoters putting stuff on and like bringing bands that haven't been here for a while, like Knuckle Dust. That show was wicked. Yeah, like I can't remember the last time they played Birmingham before that. So like, just bringing bands from that haven't been to Birmingham in ages. Yeah, like between, you know, the people wanting to go to shows after the pandemic, and then also Birmingham hardcore promoters like putting on some really sick lineups. Like the two came together. Like the Cruelty show, the first one after the pandemic.
Yeah,
that was like there was like, I think it was probably the first one after the pandemic. There was like hundreds, 100 plus. From all over the country. It was awesome. It was awesome.
It gestates out though, if you like, because like people see that the band, and I know we're getting regional now, but people see that the bands in and around the Midlands are working. Like you boys in Mantlick grind, Climate grind, Cauldron grind, we're grinding as well. And people see that and they're like, oh, let's get that band up to here. Let's get band that up to here. And then you'll meet and you go up to Leeds and you see like the guys in Green and Firearm and that they're grinding. Down in London, like all of the fucking bands around Quality Control, like Mastermind and Lawful Killing and that, grinding. Meet up, go places, take it to somewhere new, meet some new friends, get them to come to fucking your ends and play. That's what it's about, no egos. Like, you say no egos, but there are egos in hardcore. There definitely are.
Yeah.
But we've always said in Cruelty, like, we don't give a fuck. We'll play first, we'll play last, we'll play in the middle, we'll play at fucking 8:30 in the morning. It literally does not matter. Like, you're just there.
I'll take you up on that.
Yeah, man. Like, you're just there to play, ain't you? Just with your mates, have some fun. That's what it's about. Because it's not like, none of us are getting rich off this. No one ever came, like, who the fuck, like, even when I was like 14, like, I started playing guitar when I was like 10, I never thought, oh fuck, I'm gonna like make money over this, like, ever. So I said about, you lose money, don't you? But you just don't care. Now money's been sunk into putting on gigs and like touring and stuff, and like, you're right when you were saying about like people at work and that, and like the real world just don't understand. They're like, when you're like, oh, I'm going on tour, they're like, oh, that's fucking wicked, where are you staying, what are you doing? And it's like, well, I'm going in some shitty van, we're gonna sleep on someone's floor, it's gonna be fucking grim, but I love it.
Yeah. It's costing me up.
It's costing me money to do that. Yeah.
You'd be like, oh yeah, we're playing Paris, and they're like, oh my god, that's amazing. Your band must be so big. It's like, no, we're just friends with the promoter. They're paying us €200, and we're all just putting our own money into it, traveling however long to play a 20-minute set. Do you know what I mean? Like, and it's gonna be incredible. Like, that's the best thing about it. Like, it doesn't matter. No, it's just.
How far is Paris? Like 450 miles, something like that. You go in there to play for 20 minutes.
Yeah, if you're lucky.
I always felt like that, you know, when your band's record would come out, or you drop some T-shirts, and it's like someone in Russia or Japan's ordered one, and you think, why does some kid on the other side of the planet give a shit about my band? Do you know what I mean? It's that's it, you know, it's hardcore. That's just what it is.
I always like the conversation with people at work is when you show them like the gigs. Because I work with just like a bunch of blokes who are like, what the fuck are they doing? Yeah. Oh, if anyone else did that to me, nah, I wouldn't be having it. It'd be on the floor. I'd be like, yeah, alright, okay, mate. Because people just don't understand that, like, you also pay 10 quid to get into a gig, and then depending on where you stand, you pay to get battered and ran into and absolutely squashed.
shows have been back, especially like my first show going back was UKHC Returns, which is probably the best way to start going back to shows after such a long time, like what, a year and a half?
Yeah, it's bad.
And that just put in concrete that this shit isn't going anywhere. Like, the people that work so hard, all the DIY, everyone that's put something in, whether it's artwork, music, like venue booking, working on a bar, whatever, all of this stuff that goes into putting a show and making these events happen, it wouldn't be there without the community that support that and haven't just given up on it in a year and a half just because our shows aren't happening anymore, let's expect someone else to do it. Everyone's putting something into it now, and probably more so than they were doing before as well.
Definitely,
because I think after spending so much time at home, being like away from your mates, being away from all of this, it's really reminded everyone like what we started doing that shit for.
And before COVID as well, especially around, I guess it happened all over the country, but I noticed especially in like the Birmingham scene, maybe like a year before COVID, it did go a bit wobbly. There was a strange patch where people just weren't necessarily coming to shows that much anymore. I mean, there was still a sense of community and things, but the turnouts for shows and things were going slightly downhill. And then COVID happened, and then ever since lockdown has generally been lifted, it's been bigger and better than it ever has been.
好多時候一個人嘅性格影響咗佢嘅職業。做我哋呢行最大嘅好處係唔需要做，因為要死時間地點一早有人決定咗。我係一個男人，我中意有人幫我安排所有嘢，所以我需要一個伴。
just especially when you sort of in your stripes and you get involved and you get stuck in. It's like, yo, like there's 20 people in this room. This guy makes scenes. This guy will play guitar. It's sort of just knowing and having those connections around you. That's what's so important, because like we can kind of just do anything off those DIY ethics. We don't need outside.
It's like it's just all self-reliant.
Yeah, it's organic. It's organic.
Yeah, I need a drummer. Oh wait, that guy plays drums.
Yeah,
He's also in that band that I like quite a lot.
Yeah.
So cool. There we go.
Yeah.
And then everybody gets
it's just
to know each other as a big collective.
just a big network, really.
When I was a kid, I went to I used to go to download and shit.
Yeah.
I remember going and watching bands like fucking Metallica and Maiden and thinking it's the dog's bollocks. And I was 15 and it was the old Le Pub, and I went to a show because I saw like a flyer on Facebook or some shit, and watched Grand Collapse, and like half shit myself, half was like, this is the best thing in the world. And I was like chatting to people and they're just like, yeah, this happens all the time. Like, every weekend.
It's just
normal. Like, what the fuck?
And you don't know that's the point of it. Like you kind of will show someone a video from a hardcore show and they can't really comprehend, like to a normal eye, like their idea of a mosh pit or whatever. They can't. You kind of you show someone this and it's just like, wow, like I've never seen anything like this. And I think that's all our reactions when we like at that first show. Just seeing people jump off the stage and just like have fun. Like you can't explain it unless you understand it. They say like, oh, like there's a scene in metal, but like, is there really? Like you pay for tickets, you go to like an academy show, and it's like when we rock up to a hardcore show, it's like a sake of texting a band member because you know them, and it's like that's your mate on stage. You know, it don't get much.
You can go on your ones and there's always people that you know.
It don't get more real than that. And it's just rocking up, like chatting to people like, yo man, is this, like that's how I started. And you know, you've got mates there then, and then that friend shows you that friend, and then by the time you're like three, 4 shows in, you know the whole room.
Before COVID, it was like quiet one.
Very quiet. There was
it's almost like people were sick of coming.
It's people they came out to the US shows, which is like, we all know that fucking too well.
Yeah.
They came out to the US shows, then the Prac Room shows and the small shows, no interest.
And that's now, like we were all of that first one back in London.
Yeah, we were there.
Ready, I fucking smashed it.
Everyone had just fucking waited so long, and it was just like, we got what we want now. This
is 18 months of people not going to shows. No wonder it was fucking packed.
Yeah, a lot of
free fucking days.
And there was a lot of fucking talk from a lot of people who don't care. And I think, especially in our scene, there's a lot of people that had opinions, but they're not here now. So
I like the fact that nobody went under throughout the time where there were no shows. Everybody that puts on shows, everybody that plays shows,
it just made us want to do it more. I think
because they didn't just give up. And I got mad respect for that. Because it would be so easy to just put it on the back burner and focus on I gotta work, I gotta whatever.
Yeah, I think people just showed, or the ones that do care, showed that they care.
Yeah, it's dedication and it's unmatched anywhere else.
Keeping hardcore alive when it's not physically there, really.
Yeah. I think as well, like in Wales, the punk shit and hardcore stuff is like mixing now.
It's starting to mix well.
Yeah,
our shows especially.
Like Repent, it was just sick to see everyone watching like.
Yeah, the Oppressed into Knuckle Dust, which are two staple bands in UK punk and hardcore.
Yeah.
And I know like.
And realistically, they're worlds apart, but they're the same.
Yeah, like Knuckle Dust came up with like the Oppressed, Coxbarra, you know, and seeing like bands like Warzone.
Yeah, it's like not only that, if that show happened like 3-4 years ago, I guarantee the floor would have cleared for one of the other bands.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
This big conversion, like everything's suddenly becoming one thing.
It's just it's unity, isn't it?
Yeah, for real.
Everyone just stick together and like, you know, if you don't feel hardcore, that's cool, and if you don't feel punk, that's cool. But just respect the other scenes.
Because we're all in the underground world.
Yeah, we're all in it together, and like you don't need to be at every hardcore show if you're a punk kid. But if you want to be, then no one's gonna judge you. Like you're welcome, all the same.
Yeah, I mean, I do love a good sing along.
Exactly, we all do.
Introduction real quick. Hi, I'm Dane and I do vocals in Mantlet. And I do also do vocals in Deliverance.
Dope. I'm Luke, I play drums in Mantlet, Severance and Malignant Method.
Dope, dude. Alright, so can I just get some background, like how this all came together? How did you guys form and stuff like that?
Thank you very much. Big up to the UYC, big up to the joiners, bar staff, sound peoples, doormen, everyone involved in it. Big up to John Pips. Billy Mitchell Mark II on the organisation. This next one's a cover, isn't it? If anyone likes Sepultura.
This song is despised. Turn the fucking back. I want to see a dance floor.
How did you guys get into the whole hardcore thing? Like, what kind of bands got you into it?
As cringy as it